May I come in?
Come in.
Good afternoon, sirs.
Very good afternoon. Kashmira, take your seat.
Thank you, sir.
This is the third attempt.
Yes, sir.
So, in any of the earlier attempts, were you interviewed?
No, sir.
So, this would be your first interview.
Yes, sir.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Are you practicing medicine as of now?
Yes, sir. Up till recently, I was. And once the result came out, I left that job.
You left a job.
Yes, sir.
So, where were you employed?
Sir, in a private clinical setup, I was working as an assistant dentist.
Acha.
Yes.
You had no ownership over it.
No, sir.
Okay, okay. And this was in Thana itself.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Very interesting. So, and you started this after your graduation?
Yes, sir.
Oh, so that's pretty interesting. So, oral health is a major issue across the country.
Yes.
Okay, one. B. Especially oral health in the case and context of cosmetics is quite big in places like Thana
Yes.
and metropolitan areas all across the country.
Yes.
So overall, one would feel that someone who is a trained professional and someone who from academic scores almost seems to be someone who is not just knowledgeable about it, but also passionate about it.
Yes.
So in that sort of a situation, one would feel that there is gainful employment in it.
Yes.
One would also feel that there is a sense of satisfaction about it.
Yes.
Why are you trying to get into the civil services then?
Yes. Sir, like you said, there is a lot of job satisfaction through dentistry because I can not only relieve pain but also work on the cosmetics and the aesthetics. But somewhere I had an inkling towards civil services since childhood, and during my graduation, as I was working and I was interacting with patients, taking case histories, I realized that there were many socioeconomic problems as well, and not just the health problems. So I realized that within my domain, while I could provide them with a good health, with civil services, I could be able to work from a larger platform and also address their other issues, socioeconomic issues like education and sanitation, etc.
Okay, okay. So that should be pretty interesting. So in the situation that you were working in
Yes.
Thana, you graduated in 2018.
Yes.
So this was before COVID-19,
Yes.
and you were working after that. So when it comes to COVID-19, were there any significant issues which were related to oral health, which had a COVID-19 connection?
Yes, sir. So there was a lots of taste during COVID and even as a consequence of COVID and
True,
after effect.
true.
So that was the issue mainly related
And
to.
what were the remedies which were adopted for this?
Sir, I'm not aware about the remedies.
No, but in your case, did you come across cases of people who had a problem with loss of taste?
Sir, it was not very significant. Very few number of people that I came across were suffering from such a condition.
Okay, okay, okay. But as you said, you're not aware of what were the remedies for it or what possibly could be the remedies for it.
Yes.
Okay, okay, okay. And then in addition to it, what are the other issues that you regularly counsel or that you regularly come across?
Sir, those that are outside of COVID.
Yeah, obviously those that are
Yes.
outside of COVID.
Yes. So the most common problem that a patient comes to a dentist with is that of pain.
Okay.
And very occasionally, when the patient is from a higher socioeconomic background, the patient also comes with the issue of aesthetics. But
Okay.
most commonly, it is tooth pain that a patient comes to a dentist for.
Okay, okay. And across the range, are there common reasons that cause the pain or are there different reasons for it?
So there are many broad reasons, but I would say maximum of the reasons are associated with pulpitis. That is when the pulp of the tooth is involved due to caries and decay. So that is the most common issue.
Okay, okay. Oral health obviously is a critical aspect of overall health, and oral health also is, in a country like India, a largely neglected issue when one is talking about overall health.
Yes.
Huh? When you look at, say, for example, Budget 2023,
Yes.
and when you look at the provisions which have been made related to health,
Yes.
do you think there is enough in it as far as oral health is concerned?
Sir, I've not read yet on the budgetary allocation for oral
Okay,
health.
okay. But these issues, do you think that there's a way by which we can deal with these issues as part of public health, or does this yet merit a significant amount of out of pocket expenditure as far as patients are concerned?
Sir, out-of-pocket expenditures are high in case of dental treatment, and that is because the dental treatments are innately costly, first reason, and secondly, by the time a patient comes to the doctor, the disease has already progressed quite a lot. If it were a preventive kind of treatment, the cost is less. But this is because of a general lack of awareness about oral health in India. And sir, could you repeat the?
No, my point was, can one address the oral health problems that you have been witnessing through what is called as public health provisions? So, can this be provided for by public monies?
Yes, sir. Sir, we have a branch of dentistry called the public health dentistry, and in this we focus on public awareness, carrying out camps, dental camps in less privileged areas and in slum areas. So through this we can improve upon their brushing technique, on their keeping their teeth clean and gums healthy techniques. So through this we can address.
I'm presuming most of your practice is in the Thana region itself.
Yes, sir.
So, how severe is the problem of oral cancers in the Thana region that you have witnessed?
So personally, in my college setup is as well, where I was working in Mumbai and in Thane, I've come across a few cases, but not as prevalent as caries is. But yes, few and far between, I have come across oral cancer cases.
But were they fairly advanced by the time
Oh,
they?
yes, sir.
Okay. Terrible. You have any idea, Dr. Kashmira, in terms of medical personnel who are related to oral health? How would the numbers stack up?
Sir, are you asking about uh, dentist to population ratio?
Yeah.
Uh,
Or other professionals as far as oral health itself is concerned. So it's not just dentists. We would be looking at a whole range of other personnel that would be
yes.
required.
Sir, I'm not aware about their ratio, but the dentist population ratio in urban setup is somewhere around 1 for 5,000, and but in the rural areas it goes to as low as 1 to 50,000.
It's terrible. Why do most students who decide to embark on medicine as a career not opt for oral health?
So there's a general perception that there is a surplus in this profession. There is also a perception that career progression is more in medical field and less so in dental field. But personally, I do not feel so. Even in dentistry, given that there is lack of awareness in the population, there's a lot of potential to tap on this and increase the awareness and increase the reach of oral health.
Very true. Very true. Your mother practices naturopathy
Yes.
as part of an institutional setup or as an individual?
Sir, institutional setup.
Okay, and that's a public one or a private one?
So she has her own setup.
Okay. So she's like self-employed.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what all is it that she does as part of this?
Sir, she does hydrotherapy, mud therapy. She also prescribes diet for people, and she also conducts yoga classes as part of this institution.
Okay. Now, interestingly enough, one of the things which you have mentioned is like you learn new languages and new cultures and all of that. And presently, you are on Japanese.
Yes.
So, how many other languages are you aware of?
Sir, apart from Hindi, Marathi, and English, Japanese is the first language that I've
Okay,
like
okay,
around.
okay. So
Yes.
it's not that there are other languages that you are.
Sir, it's a hobby that I've recently picked up and I've recently
Okay,
discovered.
okay, okay. And what are the other languages that you are interested in?
Sir, I'm also interested in Mandarin because in Japanese language there are many Chinese characters as well. So through these Chinese characters, I would get a boost in learning Mandarin as well.
And how are you pursuing this current interest of yours?
So there's an app on my phone called the Duolingo app. I've been practicing on it. Apart from that, I'm also boosting my learning through watching YouTube videos of some
Okay,
Japanese
okay.
professors.
But is that possible? Matlab, for a language like Japanese,
Yes.
don't you think you need to be part of a more formal way of learning it? Through maybe a department that is conducting those types of courses in a place. And in places like Thane and Mumbai, it shouldn't be difficult.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've because this was a new hobby that I was recently dabbing into. I thought that I should first see how interested I am in it. And very recently, I also gave the Japanese language exam, in which I passed. So after this, I'm looking for a more formal setup. But
And this
I
exam was conducted by.
uh, TAOJ Mumbai, that was the institute that was conducting it, but it was a JLPT, so it is conducted by the Japanese authorities itself.
Okay, okay. You have never been to Japan.
No, sir.
Okay, okay. But you would like to.
Yes.
Okay. And is there any book related to Japan which you have recently read?
So not related to Japan, but I've read a few of an author, Haruki Murakami.
But that won't be non-fiction. Or
No,
is there
sir.
any non-fiction?
Not that I've read completely. I've started a few ones, but
They were in Japanese?
no, sir.
The English translations.
Yes.
Okay. Does Mr. Murakami write on non-fiction issues?
Sir, as far as I know, he has not written,
It's not
but I
written.
may be wrong.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay. Japanese culture has a very strong connect with what your mother does. There are significant elements of healing that the Japanese would involve themselves in, uh, which, if your mother interfaces with, she would very readily find affinities to. Are you aware of that?
Sir, I'm fairly aware. I'm not very much aware, but I think in acupuncture, there's a technique called the Yamamoto acupuncture technique. So that is very much related to the healing aspect. But
Okay,
apart from that, I'm not aware as of now.
okay, okay. The Japanese believe that immersing yourself in multiple activities wherein you interact with nature is one of the best ways by which one stays healthy. Are they right? Are they wrong?
So there's an island in Japan called the Okinawa Island, and on that island, most of the individuals they live up to the age of 100, and that is because they are very much one with nature and have a good diet that suits their genetic composition as well. So this way, I would say that it is to an extent right.
Not just the Okinawans, but the Japanese all across Japan as well as outside Japan do believe in this. Okay, fair, fair. And your father is someone who has been mentioned as practicing management.
Yes.
So is that part of a public sector activity or a private
So
sector?
he's also in the private sector.
So he has his own firm.
No, sir.
He works for a firm.
Yes.
Okay, okay. And the Japanese are also high on management practices.
Sir, I'm
Uh,
not aware.
not much. Not much aware of them. Okay. So, what is the last book on non-fiction that you have read? The last non-fiction,
So the last nonfiction that I finished was Atomic Habits by James Clear.
and that is about.
So it's about forming habits through a technique which he calls it as atomic because he breaks the larger goal into smaller achievable goals, and through that we can build a habit by maintaining a streak.
Okay. But that would largely be a self-help book.
Yes, sir.
When someone says it's a non-fiction, I don't think self-help books would classify as non-fiction, though they technically are.
Yes, sir.
है ना? So what? So self-help is the sort of genre that you are more interested in.
Yes.
Okay, okay, very very interesting. Long distance running. Do you do that even now?
Yes, sir. Occasionally, maybe once or twice a week.
And you take part in marathons? No,
Yes.
you do.
Yes.
Okay, okay, very very interesting. So overall, there are a lot of very interesting things that you keep doing. Huh? And even you have done naturopathy.
Yes, sir.
So this was as part of your dentistry, or
No, sir. Sir, it was a diploma course arranged by the Maharashtra Board of Vocational Education, and it was only a 1 year course that I did along with my BDS practice.
and this was in Thane itself.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Kashmira, what exactly is the problem that if you look at the Japanese, you said Mandarin, look at the Chinese, they are able to execute these big bullet train projects. You see so many bullet trains. Like I hope you have seen that iconic bullet train that
Yes.
passes past the Fuji Mountains. You come from a place called as Thana,
Yes.
and it has been almost 7 years that we have been trying to get a bullet train
Yes.
running between Mumbai and Ahmedabad.
Yes.
The Japanese would be embarrassed. The Japanese have a connect with this bullet train. They would be
Yes.
embarrassed at the speed at which the Maharashtrians are putting up a bullet train.
Yes.
What are the problems?
Sir, because it is going through two states and also one union territory, if I'm not wrong. There is the problem of land acquisition, especially on the side of Maharashtra, because it passes through the districts of Palghar as well, where many of the farmers and the rural and tribal people were also protesting. So that was one of the problems.
You have any idea about how far has land acquisition been completed?
No, sir, not as of recently.
You don't have an idea, or not much of land acquisition has been done?
No, sir. Recently, up till recently, what has happened, I'm not aware about that.
Okay, okay, okay. But it's only recently it seems that interest in the project has picked up ever since this new chief minister has come to power, who incidentally also comes from Thane, I believe.
Yes.
Does he represent you in the legislative assembly?
Yes.
He represents you.
Yes.
Okay, very interesting. Oh, so you come from the chief minister's constituency, one should say.
Yes.
Okay, okay. So things have got speeded up, or things have not got speeded up?
Sir, with respect to the bullet trains,
Huh?
yes, sir. As far as I had read, he has given approval for it.
If one bullet train takes that long a time to be put into place, as I said, the Japanese would be embarrassed by this. That the country, it just doesn't seem that nobody, that people are interested in a bullet train.
Um,
What is the fastest train that runs between Mumbai and Thane?
Sir, it is the Mumbai local trains of the Indian
The
Railway.
fastest one.
Um,
Do you take trains?
Sir, I used to in my earlier years.
So you do travel by them. Okay, okay. And what's your idea about these new metro lines which have got working in Mumbai now?
Sir, while the local trains, they provide connectivity to the western lines and the central lines, but there is a lack of connectivity between the two lines, and metro is trying to fill those gaps. So metro
Actually,
is
these are like end-to-end connectivities on vertical lines.
uh, the local, sir.
Huh?
Yes, yes, sir.
And we are thinking about horizontal lines.
Yes.
Very interesting. Okay, okay. So in Thana West, where you come from, where the chief minister comes from, how many trains and is this thing connected to any of the Mumbai lines? The
Sir,
place that you come from,
sir, I could not get your question.
Thana West, the place that
Yes.
you come from,
Yes.
is it part of the railway network that connects Thana with Mumbai?
Yes, sir.
It is part.
Yes.
It's part of the.
It's part of the Central Railways.
Okay, okay. And how severe, now, given the fact that we already are talking about trains, is the problem of traffic which is not connected to the railways?
Yes.
So, if you're talking about your area, how severe is the road traffic issue?
Sir, because Thane lies in the conurbation of Mumbai, there is a lot of urbanization in the peripheries, in the Thane city, Kalyan, Dombivli, etc. So, for that reason, I would say that there is an issue of traffic congestion. So, more stress should be put on shared mobility and railways and such mobility.
Is the Maharashtra government promoting EVs,
Yes, sir.
electric vehicles?
Yes.
It is promoting. Would places like Thana benefit out of it? Are
Yeah.
there any facilities for manufacturing EVs in Thana?
So, not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Have you seen EVs around you?
Sir, I've seen electric two-wheelers around
Okay.
me in Thane, and they are increasing in numbers now.
Okay. You said it's an urbanized space. You said that it does have its own unique problems. Um, if one is not a native of Thana and one
Yes.
plans to visit your area, given the fact that we have these types of things which are happening all over the place, is Thana going to be the center of any G20 activity?
Sir, I'm not aware.
You're not aware. One fine day you might get up and you would find foreigners around you, and she's not aware of it. Very interesting. Okay, so if you have people connected with the G20 who would be interested in visiting Thana, and if you are the one that people go asking as to what would the places of interest be that one should be visiting in Thana,
Yes.
so are there a couple of places that you would suggest them,
Yes, sir.
and what would those be?
Sir, one of the places would be the Thane Creek, which is also an important bird area. Many flamingos around the period of January to April also visit this Thane Creek. And it's the largest creek in Asia. So that would be one of the places. Secondly, I would also recommend to them visiting Upvan Lake, because Thane is a city of lakes and it has many artificial lakes, so which are also scenic.
Artificial.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And are they being kept up or are they being destroyed by human activity?
No, sir, they are being kept up.
So they're pretty good.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Now, in the context of the person who represents you in the Legislative Assembly, one of the points being talked about is he betrayed uh, the original party that had invested in him in terms of becoming the sort of leader that he has. Is there such a thing called as betrayal in politics?
Sir, in politics, we have the provision for defection. So this could be called a defection, but it is not called so because when he left, when he left as a Shinde faction, there were 2/3 of the members with him. So it would be categorized as a merger, which is an exception to defection. So,
A merger with?
uh, sir, merger with the main political party.
So, Mr. Shinde doesn't operate as a different political party. He has already merged his party with somebody else.
Sir, it's the Shiv Sena faction itself.
Okay, okay. Very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Kashmira,
Yes, sir.
the process of empowerment of women uh, is a multifaceted process, no doubt about that.
Yes.
One of the elements certainly is representation in various walks of life. Let us focus on two. One, the political representation.
Yes.
Yes, we have, because of the constitutional amendments, a representation in local level bodies,
Yes.
local self-government bodies. But the state and national level representation is way below.
Yes.
It is meager. Now, if in case we ensure representation at state as well as national level,
Yes.
in what way that would turn out in the process of empowerment of women?
Sir, we had already tried to bring a bill in the parliament for reservation of women, but this could not be passed. So I feel that if this is passed, then women, not only women empowerment, but women, because they come from a section of society that is considered vulnerable, they can represent they can represent the interests of the vulnerable sections, and they can focus more on the social infrastructure like health, education, child development, etc.
So you think that would definitely happen?
Yes.
Now, if you are asked to frame a bill,
Yes.
women's reservation bill,
Yes.
okay, now, what kind of model would you suggest?
Sir, in case of the percentage? or-
Yes. Yeah. Percentage as well as the other aspects, if you have any in mind.
Okay. Sir, first of all, like even in Parliament, the bill was adopted for 1/3 representation. That would be the base level, but after that, it would require more social awareness and social participation, not just by the female section of the society, but also male. They should also boost the participation of women and give them adequate portfolios to handle. And through this, leadership could be developed in
So
the
when
females.
we think of giving reservation to women,
Yes.
we should we think of women as a block, or we should go for some sort of different thinking?
Sir, I could not.
No, 1/3 reservation, say for
Yes.
example, 33%.
Yes.
While giving 33%, 1/3 representation to women in terms of quota, should we think of women as a category, only women as a category, or we should think through and take note of other intersections of our society?
Sir, I think that we should also, as a representative democracy, we should also take note of the other,
Such as,
such as the socioeconomic background, whether whether the person is from the SC or ST category.
so caste
Yes.
need to be factored in.
Yes.
What else?
Sir, as
Only
of,
caste. Caste is
And,
something which comes to your mind.
sir, tribals also, tribal representation.
Okay. Okay. Anything else? Okay, fine. Now administration.
Yes.
Okay. Increasing participation of women in administration. How would that help in empowerment of women?
Sir, when women are put in posts of administration, again, they would be more sensitive to the issues of women,
That is one thing.
to the issues of children.
Yes.
They would also focus on the environment and the One Health aspect. That would be the second thing. When they will be exposed to leadership roles, and through that, they would motivate a generation of other women.
Okay.
Yes.
That would have definitely happened. Okay. While thinking about mainstreaming tribals, first of all, should we think of that?
Sir, tribal culture is very different from the mainstream society. They are very close to nature and forests, and their livelihoods also depend on the forest producers. So, mainstreaming, I would say, it is eventually happening with their contact with the outside culture, but it should, in my opinion, should not be imposed on them.
Okay.
They should adopt their own ways of either mainstreaming or adopting the mainstream culture.
I mean, anthropology, you must have studied, looked into various models
Yes.
about the interface between two, the mainstream society and the tribal
Yes.
communities. Now, which of the model seems relevant to India?
Sir, I'm not aware
Acha,
about
okay.
the models.
Okay. Whenever we think of education of tribe, there are certain concerns.
Yes.
Now, what concerns comes to your mind?
So the first concern is that the syllabus is sometimes not relevant for them, because they not only require education, but they also require skills to stay relevant in their cultural context. Secondly, education should be promoted and should be provided to them in their regional language or their local language. So these are the two main concerns that are coming to my mind regarding tribal education.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Thank you, Kashmir.
Okay.
Yeah.